Hello there, I'm Dominic St-Pierre. I was thinking of starting a series on getting started with Go. I've been developing with Go for the last 3 years, and frankly, this is now my go-to language for almost anything. I'm extremely happy with what it is doing. So I will not enter into lots of introduction to the language. I think there is plenty of videos on YouTube on what is Go and what it is not. So it's a system programming language, a little bit like C, if you will. But the thing I like about it, contrary of C, is that you do have garbage collection, so you don't really have to think much about the memory management, or at least as much as when you're programming in C, for example. And the performance is extremely high compared to something like Python or Ruby or even Node.js and things like that. So depending for what, and I will not enter into any kind of stack war in here, but yeah, Go is pretty nice on the server, especially because the amount of memory it is not huge. So the first thing I want to show you is that this playground that the Golang offer you is a place where you can quickly test some Go code. So since there is no REPL, just like Python, for example, so yeah, you kind of can quickly test some code in here. So let's say you want to see how to print the current time, for example. So you can go there and call the time that now. So now is a function of the time package, and yeah, this is what you would get. So you just need to keep in mind that the time of those virtual machine running running those Go playground code is stuck at November 10, 2009. So on that note, it's extremely quick. I would say to get started with Go. So again, I will not rehash any any documentation that you can already find on golang.org on how to install. It's extremely easy to install, no matter what kind of OS you are using. But yeah, the one thing I can say is that you need this. You need to create a environment variable called the Go path in capital, and set that to if a directory where the Go code will live. So this is how it is. Once you have this Go path set up, you have to create this directory tree where the bin pkg and the src. So src is where all the Go code lives. So again, I will not explain into detail why and how, because golang.org do have an extremely quick getting started guide. So it's like 3-minute read, and you are up and running with either if you are on Linux, Mac, or Windows. So I hope you so yeah, you can pause this video and set up your environment. I will go to GitHub St-Pierre, which is my GitHub username, and I will create a Go screencast folder. So this is where we will be playing a little bit with Go, I guess. So we will create a first package called. Well, no, you know what? I will put the code directly there. It's all fine. So yeah, let's open my code editor, which is VS Code. Again, if you use anything, I'm sure there is a Go extension for your editor. Personally, I really prefer that one over the GoVim because it do have some more feature that I personally like. So yeah, I'm not going to start any kind of editor war anyway in here. Use whatever works for you and you will be fine. All right, so this is a typical package, right? So Go call their what Go is building actually is building program or binaries, but under the hood they are called package. So you have two type of package, if I can say that. So you have the binary package, which is program that can be copied over to external external machine and things like that. So for example, you can compile a binary on your Linux machine. So for example, I'm using Arch in here. I would be able to compile from my Arch machine and just SSH or SCP the binary into an Ubuntu, for example, and it would run just fine. This is actually exactly how I am deploying my my own SaaS application in Go. So same for Windows and Mac. So basically on Windows you will get an exe that you can also pass to all sorts of Windows XP, Windows 10, 8, 7, things like that. It will just work. For Mac, I frankly don't remember what the extension is. It is basically the application container for Mac, which I don't really know or care, I must admit. So basically you can drag and drop this container just like any normal application on the Mac. The other type of package is a library. So what a library is, it is something that you can, it is something that you can bring from the outside into your own package. And when you will build your package, all the libraries will be built. For example, so this is something that you first need to install the library. So you use go-get for that. So go-get is similar to what pip install for Python and npm install for Node.js is, gem and whatnot. So this is kind of not really the dependency manager or the package manager, because it's not really that, but it's very similar, if you will. So once you have a library, then let's imagine that I have a library and you want to use that. So you would do go-get github.com if my library is hosted on GitHub, and ABC, for example, if my library is named ABC. So this is how you would install that into your Go package. So remember when we talked at first why we need a Go path? Sorry, I said Go package. I meant Go path. So this will be copied over to this location in here, and it will also be copied to the Go path /bin as a binary. If this thing is installable, for example. But I think we are getting way ahead of ourselves. Let's just get started with a binary package. So when you are building a binary package in Go, you need to name your package main. So this is a convention. This is just how it is. So when you build this thing, Go knows that, okay, this package is binary, and I need to link all the core library that has been used and create a binary file that will just work on architecture similar to that, for example Linux. So basically, you will also need a main function. So similar to C, for example, you need a main. So this is like the entry point of your program. So actually, if we were to test that, this is actually a valid Go program, I would say. So I would even do like go run and main.go, and yeah, this is kind of compiling on the fly this thing and running this code. Not very exciting, I must admit, as a program, but still a valid Go program. So I just used go run in here. So this is one way to run and quickly test your code. So this is not creating any binary. It's just compiling on the fly and running the code. So as opposed to building, so we could do go build in here. And now if you see on my tree of file, there is only main.go, but if I run this thing here, it will now have the Go screencast package. So this is a binary file, right? So now this file in here can be executed at the command line, but it will do nothing because we have nothing. But one interesting part is that if we check the size of this thing, it's actually going to be big, because it kind of linked all the the Go bootstrapping code that make a library workable on this architecture, which is Linux. So I could basically be able to SCP this file on every other Linux distribution out there, for example, a server, and this file would just work out of the box. Especially since if I'm using a x64 bit size machine, since I compile with an x64 Arch Linux. So yeah, but it should also work on a 32-bit, because I'm not using any int 64, for example, or any 64 bit size variable. All right, enough of that. What we will want to do is here is the traditional hello world. So we need to bring our first package. So at this moment, this file have nothing. We do not have anything more than the basic Go keyword. So we can see here we have the package and we have func. So those are two those are our two Go keyword. So I will use import. So this is how you import external or even internal package. So I will use an internal package. So this is the fompt package. So it is used to format things. So we saw that at the beginning when we were checking at the golang playground. So let's do something extremely quick in here. So let's do printf and hello world. So now we'll just do go run and main.go, and we see that it printed our hello world. So now our first application is doing something, and I will show you quickly how to declare a variable, because we are seeing in here a function, we are seeing in here a package that we just imported. This is a package from the core library, the Go core library. So now let's declare a variable. So for that we have two ways. First thing is we could use the var keyword. Let's say our variable is s, and we give it a type, so string. So now this variable is of type string, and I can use it into the printf function in here and say, you know what, you will receive a string, that's the %s in here, and just print it. So if we run that, well, it will just print hello, because there's nothing into our variable at the moment. So we don't have any value assigned to it at the moment. So I could, it's not valid in Go to do something like an initialization straight into the same line. So I could not do world in here. Just like in JavaScript, for example, you would do something like hello and the like. But there is a way in Go to do that into one single line, and it's by using the colon and equal sign. So that means that we do have a new variable name on the left, and this is the value that we want to assign to it right away. So what it will do on the background, it will just do what we had previously. It will do var s string, and it can it's knowing that it will be a string because it's able to infer the type from here. So it's just doing that, and it's doing this. So in one line of code we could do that, and now if we run our code, we will see hello world again. So both are good. So you might ask yourself, well, why there is two-way, and how can I know when to use one over another? So this is a good question. In fact, it's as easy as when you need to assign a variable right away, I would always use the equal sign, because frankly there is no reason to use the double line for one thing. On the other hand, when you just need to declare a variable and it will be assigned later, well, if you don't want a good default, you can still just do the var, because this is how Go will work. In fact, since there is no null for a value type, so there is strong default in Go. So what I'm talking about? you might ask, what the hell are you talking about? So what I'm saying is that, let's say that we want to declare a variable high of type int. So a typical thing. So the way Go work is that when we don't assign any value to this thing, it will just assign a default. And for int, the default is 0. For a string, it's empty string. For lots of thing, Go do have some default. I could even do a date in here, and what Go will be doing is that it will assign a default date. That's it. So now I'm also importing the time package, so because I'm using the time type of this time package. So now you will see that we have a default. This is January 1st of year 1. So this is the default. So you need to be careful with that thing. So this is something that you will need to keep in mind. And also one thing that I want to show. So you might see that there is now a couple of error being thrown. So let's say that we will print 1, 2, 3 in here. So this line now is working, but if you check here, this import statement, it is not. So that means that if we were to run this code, we will get an error, because Go is strongly typed, and it forces you to really have clean code and everything. This is another thing I really like about Go. So the compiler detected that, well, wait a minute, you are importing this time package, but you are not using that, so you basically don't need that. So boom, it's kind of forcing you to clean up already. So this is extremely good. Another thing I do like is that it's coming with with its own code formatting. So let's say that you have someone in your team that would do something like that. So Go do have a Go format thing that I already have a binding into a shortcut in my editor, and if I run it, boom, it just reformatted everything. So yeah, I find it extremely nice. So let's say that someone on your team were to do some comment in here instead. So you run the Go format, and boom, it's just everyone on the team should have almost the same code format. So this is one thing that a team of developers can not stop thinking about, but at least have a extremely good solid common place to write code. And this is very, very important on big code base. So yeah, I think that might be it for the first video. So the thing to remember is that if you want to start playing with that, I would suggest that you create you create a main package, and you create a main function, and try to play with the FMT package. You might also want to check the log package, which is extremely similar. So if I replace that with the log, so now it will just print out with the date like a nicely log format to the STD error. So yeah, Go is very nice. I will probably do one video per week, or at least I will try to keep it very short, so you don't have to wait too much for the next video. Please let me know if you like if you would like to continue the Go series, because this is something I really enjoy, and I'm certain that once you start playing around with Go, and the fact that everything compiles down to one single file, the deployment is so it is so enjoyable. So anyways, that being said, I will see you next time.